But real cool, Charlie, it's a big problem. It's a big problem at Chelsea. We'll talk about Chelsea later. The headache is too much. Anyway, this program is brought to you by Betway and Pride Bet. And at this point, I would just, walk you through what they have to say as a message to you. And this one from Betway. Now, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesday. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Only at betway.com.ga. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, and of course not for those under 18. Bets way, get way more. And also this one, from Pride Bet. Pride Bet have a beautiful message for you, and I hope when you win, you remember me. You see, because that's what this whole thing is about, right? We are all brothers in all of this. And so when you win with Pride Bet, just remember to text me how much you won, and I'll let you know the percentage. You see the percentage I won. Jatano Alande, the best online betting platform offering you a variety of games ranging from sports, casino, virtuals, and your favorite aviator is finally here. Take your chance on our daily, weekly, and monthly jackpots with up to 11 million Ghana cedis to be won. You could also play our free-to-play games and win up to 50,000 Ghana cedis every day. And yes, it is free to play. Visit pridebet.com.gh to make your first deposit and enjoy our 100% up to 500 Ghana cedis welcome offer. Bra Yendi Agro Pride Bet. Pride Bet, together we play. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana as well.
This is 3Sports, the best sports team in the country. Get interactive with us across all social media.
in. Remember recently, I think Reading were docked some points, all because the financially they were not too sound and they had to, delay some payment of salaries and all that.
Yeah.
I think that then must be looked at. And the PFAG, who are part or they are members or they are member of the Ghana Football Association, should make sure that they sit down, dialogue, and advocate for the better treatment of these players. And for me, Legon Cities, Ghana is not all about just setting up a team and then having the names. And that is the reason why we kicked against football clubs hailing for just receiving football boots and then match balls from the Football Association president as promises to become president of the association. No, you should be advocating for better things. Imagine you had advocated or called for, proper medical care. Let's say at least treatment or half medical care cost taken charge by the Football Association when you have players injured and they need to be, taken care of for a certain amount. That actually makes better sense than what we are actually facing now. And I think it's a big problem. The last time Jojo did not want to talk, but he spoke about it. If you look at how poor George O's career couldn't move high up, it was all because of an injury that took so long a time, even with the national team. Remember, he was imposed for the Black Stars.
Yeah.
That got him injured at the Barbara Sports Stadium. He dived for a ball. Yeah. He got locked at his waist-side, and that was the end of Jojo until he actually fought back. And by the time he was willing or ready to be imposed again, it was late for him to blossom or to bloom. And I think it's a big problem. It's a shame for Legon Cities themselves. That is not the only person who has struggled against them. It was a champion was one of the players who struggled during his time at Legon Cities. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
But isn't this the same club that is flaunting so much money around?
Exactly, but now do you ask yourself, are they able to flaunt their money? Last season, it took Maxwell Kunedu to speak to his players for them to honor matches or even training sessions. Ask yourself why most of their technical staff are moving. Maxwell Kunedu has left. The assistant coach is now assistant at Accra Hasselfolk. Most of their players, Michael Lampedu, he's moved on. Richmond Entry has moved on. Nasai, the goalkeeper's trainer, the physical trainer, is only there because Pakwesi Fabian, who worked with him at Asante Kotoko, is still there. So many players have moved on. And you ask yourself, Asenso comes in and he's seeking to become executive council member of the Ghana Football Association. If you prioritize less the medical care of your players, then how then do you want to prioritize taking care of the entire football association in this country? I don't think they should even be worthy. All these issues have come up and they've passed him or they've deemed him fit to represent or be part of the people to be elected to join the Ghana FA Executive Council. Why are we running football like it's just friends and cronies and we should just do it at our own convenience and get people who are willing to be in there just for their personal interest? We cannot continue to raise opportunities in our football. Otherwise, we will continue to sink. And that's exactly what we are doing.
That's an interesting choice of word, though.
Theory, if you cannot seek the great welfare of your players, but you can use that money to go and purchase a form to run on the executive council ticket, then what sort of person are you? Okay. What sort of person are you?
Oreku.
And it's sad. The Football Association is even involved because the second goalkeeper, William Esu, is calling for his winning bonus against Algeria, the qualifier we played for the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. How many months now? If it was the Black Stars, they would have gotten a business class ticket for Fatawi Shahaku to come and waste our time here without even kicking a ball. Why do we misplace our priorities?
Interesting, Oreku. Kelvin. Oreku, let me come to you on this.
Yeah.
Player welfare.
Well, there's a lot of things to say, but I genuinely believe that these are some of the things that our leaders should be targeting, not, excuse me to say, but things that aren't necessary. When you come into power, you should be changing the lives of people and making decisions that have a lasting impact. I take this back to the fact that we just don't have a system. A system to check whether players are being paid. A system to check whether players are being paid well enough. A system to punish clubs that are not taking good care of their players. Now, it should be bare minimum for clubs to cater for the health of their players. How many of these clubs have their players signed on medical insurance? And I think these are some of the indicators that, give you a full picture about the quality of your league. You look around the Ghana Premier League, and almost every club has had issues with salary or wages or winning bonuses at a point, even the mighty Asante Kotoko. And so it begs the question that how do we improve the league overall, and how do we ensure that the mainstay and the main assets of the league is protected? I would always say that the Ghana Premier League is probably one of the leagues in the world where the players are paid way less than the administrators, people organizing the league, people in leadership positions when it comes to the league and Ghana football. It doesn't make any sense that you would see management committee members go to a World Cup for less than a month and are taking more money than what a club would make even if they win the league. Mm-hmm. How much more the players who are playing for 34 game weeks. I think it's saddening that on another level, the players themselves have grown to accept it. The fact that no one seems to come out to talk about it again because everyone is scared that if I talk, my club would just get rid of me or release me. So in essence, it's been accepted by everyone that the system is not good, it cannot be fixed. And so we just have to take it as, we're being done a favor here. And so if we play well, eventually we'll go and move outside and we will start making money. And so it's got to a point where if you're friends with some of the Ghana Premier League players, they are playing with the hope that they will be able to go out. And this platform will give them the opportunity of being seen, which I think is unfair because essentially what that does to our league is that it doesn't make it professional anymore. People are not competing anymore. And that's why always you're seeing matches being compromised because these players are struggling. They are in a position where they don't have enough to take care of themselves. And so if Team A brings X amount of money that, hey, goalkeeper, make sure I score a couple of goals, why won't that goalkeeper budge? Because at the end of the day, these people have families to feed. And now to the institutions that are supposed to ensure that these players are taken care of. The whole purpose of these institutions is to ensure that they give a voice to these players who are minority in this situation. Why does it have to take a player to come out before PFAG will act and go and make a donation to William Asu? Why should the GFA Foundation wait for William Asu to come out and complain before they give him money? That just isn't right. And it's not sustainable because, as I said, you must always look long term. Okay, right now you're giving Asu money. That's for the foundation and for the PFAG. Would that be enough to ensure that he recovers fully? One. If it's not enough, what happens next? What about the hundreds of players out there with the same situation as William Asu? Should they also come out and complain before the PFAG or GFA Foundation acts? Should players fall sick and be cut so loose to a point that they cannot even walk? They've lost so much body fat that they start to get help. That's not what an ideal situation should look like. And it's best we start tackling this issue right from the top and even get straight to the bottom of it. We don't have to wait for our players to be sick, hurt before we act. And for me, I think that this is an opportunity for the institutions to act. We've had one case study, a player come out. This is a chance for the FA to come out and ensure that we have a league that takes care of its players. Last time I was discussing with Kelvin, and he was saying that it doesn't matter if it's only 10 clubs that can take care of their players. Let them play the league. As a professional league, some standards need to be set. And I think it's high time that we enforce that.
Okay, Aniela,
Theory, I think it's a very, very sad and unfortunate issue because I'm looking at it from the point of view of even just organizations. I think sometimes when we talk about football, all we really think about is the players on the pitch, passing the ball, doing what needs to be done, winning trophies or whatever. We forget that these are actually human beings. And I don't know if it's that the clubs that are even supposed to be taking care of them, the clubs that they pay them, the clubs that they are signed on to also forget some of these things because your health is paramount. Some organizations even go as far as getting a particular hospital, getting a particular place where players can go to seek medical attention, where people can go to seek medical attention. And it just seems as though the players are being neglected terribly in this regard. Even as much as with the visibility, look at what happened and the club just came out to post as though they just found out about it this morning or they were just scrolling through the internet. How do you mean you just saw it when it's literally your player? If I don't, back when I was in school, if I don't come to class today, everybody will start talking about it. Your teacher will know, they'll call home, just find out how you are doing, if everything is okay. These are people that are regularly training. If their absence is there, you should check on them. Something has got to give. We shouldn't wait this far. Even when it comes to, at least most of the Ghanaian Premier League clubs have social media accounts. Do we even get injury updates? Most of the time, all you see is just, how do I even put it? The score. Even when them score yourself, you don't go see the updates again. But just player injury updates. There are certain things that I think we may not be in the know because we are not in the club. And I get that times are hard. I get that people are literally even struggling to, get something to eat, to pay the players or whatever. But sometimes visibility helps with these type of things. Imagine a fan, for instance, I say Okoye United fan or something like that, and maybe he sees that somebody's struggling, or Kelvin sees that somebody's struggling. If you're in a position where you may even go there to make a donation personally.
Kelvin is a Kotoko fan anyway.
Kelvin would give. Exactly. Even on the international front, look at how, it's rather unfortunate. When Achu died, look at the international pouring from everywhere concerning that. I think that sometimes visibility will help with these matters. And also, with the Ghana Football Association itself, something has really got to give in just how we handle some of these issues. Really, how we handle some of these issues. It's rather unfortunate that we have to wait for somebody to die before we are all in uproar and, talking about this issue. But we really need to look at that. And playing and just ensuring that some of the players are paid on time. It's also key. Some of these people are living hand-to-mouth situations like almost everybody now. But come on, even your own salary, you're expected to play, you're expected to show up for training, and you're not being paid on time. Bonuses from games that took place how long ago? How long should you continue to wait before you are paid your advances and things? Sometimes, Theory, it's really basic human dignity. Let's even just forget about the fact that these are players. Let's consider the fact that they are human beings first. And I think that that's where the conversation should start from. We need to start doing something serious about it.
Okay, Yao just joins us. Yao. Yeah. So we are looking at player welfare and just the happenings in the last few days.
I just want to ask what the job of the PFAG is. I honestly do not understand what the job of the PFAG is. And it almost looks as if that the PFAG always just looks for an incident where the media cites someone and then they go in as the Superman to try to save the situation. What do you do when you are sitting there and the players who you are supposed to be taking care of are not being well taken care of, and you don't know that they are not well, or you don't know that this is what they go through?
How do you wait for the media? It's literally your job.
Exactly.
There are some situations that you will not find out as a journalist.
Exactly.
You can't find it out.
And that's the thing. If they were actually a proper organization doing their work, they should have known about this William Esu issue long before it came on social media. And that is the reason why every time someone speaks against the media, speaks against what we do on radio or we do on TV, I tell them to minimize whatever they are talking about. But for us, people like Esu, people like even the guy who died for Lagos, the Lagos City's goalkeeper who died, shouldn't have died. But for us, nobody would have even heard about it. And these are the issues. It is much, much bigger than we think it is. I'm lambasting the PFAG because if it is your job, it's like the Ghana Health Service waiting for someone at Media General to do a story and say, oh, there are no doctors in UGMC. Then they'll say, oh, then let's go and put doctors in UGMC. How is it even?
Or that some nurses are dying in the hospital.
How?
And they don't even know about
What
it.
happens? Because you go out there, you do stories. Bill goes out there, he does stories.
And-
There, you go out there, you do stories, and
was-
that's when people's attention comes
I
to the
was
fact
coming
that
to
somebody
it.
is not being taken
I was
care
coming
of.
to it. Number one, I did a story on Amusa Badamusi in Bimbila.
Yeah.
People messaged me and said they thought he was dead, and these were players who actually played with Amusa, players who claimed to be strong people in the PFAG. They were all telling me that, oh, where did you find Amusa? Oh, we thought Amusa had passed and blah blah blah. And even the people who knew Amusa was still alive, what did they do for him until we did the story? When I did the story on Abu Imoro. Abu Imoro was working in Nima and he had a problem. They all know who Abu Imoro is. And it was after I did the story, that was when they flew in and said, oh, let's try to help Abu Imoro. But it was too late. And Abu Imoro died in 2022 or which is not the way to go as a country. It can be avoidable.
Let me go straight to the phone line and speak to Joseph John Pencil, John Pencil, of course, a former Black Star and a former Ghana international. John, good evening and welcome to Sports Ultras.
Good evening.
Well, I hope you're good.
Yeah, by His grace. How about you?
I'm doing well, John. A lot has been happening in the last few days. A club that you worked at, that's Legon Cities. We heard very unfortunate news that a goalkeeper had passed away, from the club, and then just a few days later, we saw a video circulating, and it was
Please,
another.
your voice is low. I can't hear you. Please.
Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. So I don't know if you heard the whole preamble or if I have to start again. But what I was saying was the last few days hasn't been good. In Ghana football, Legon Cities lost a goalkeeper. And then days after, we saw another goalkeeper complain of not being treated fairly, especially by the Ghana Football Association. Have you heard these stories and how do you react to it?
I haven't heard any story, but I heard that Sylvester City has passed. And I think I was somewhere in Savannah when I heard the news. Sylvester was a player that I brought in, was coaching him from 2018 till Lagos City became Lagos City. So he was a great guy, a very healthy boy. Last season, he was in the goal pole for the whole season. So the news took me by surprise. Yeah. So that is the only news that I've heard. But the rest you just mentioned is new to me.
Are you part of PFAG, John?
I'm a member of PFAG.
Usually, what would be the role of PFAG in situations like this?
Oh, but I can't explain our roles, what PFAG does, and I think everybody knows. I think it's your job to go in and find out what PFAG is doing for the players, current players, and then the old players.
No, I'm not asking what they're doing for the players. I'm asking how would PFAG react to a story that a player is demanding, his, some monies owed him by the GFA or by his club?
I think your question, you were talking about two players who have been victims, but now it looks like you are switching up the question to another.
No, I'm not. I'm only asking what the professional body for footballers would do for a player in that situation. I mean, if a player is not being treated like
PFAG is there for every current footballer and even the ex-players, seeing to it that the players are not being left out. Sometimes their contracts are not respected, and PFAG has to come in. And even PFAG have done so well for some players who even lost some money that they thought the money would never come back to them, and they have recovered all those monies for them. So PFAG is a very big body, and they are doing so well for both local players and the foreign-based players, and also the current players and then the retired players.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of things is going on. PFAG is not into fight clubs or teams who are not respecting the players' contract and all. It's professional game, and I think they are working hand in hand. It's an understanding thing. It's not about fighting. I'll see you if you don't pay. No, it has to be a mutual agreement sometimes. But yeah, it's good that we have a PFAG in our system. They are there to support everyone and even benefit some of the clubs, owners and all. They are not in to intimidate anybody. But players must also be disciplined and then respect their contracts sometimes. You're talking about players who are injured, they are not taking good care of. Player who has a contract has no business outside again. If you have a contract with Olympics or Hearts of Oak or Kotoko, you respect the contract. After training, after match, you go home and rest, and then you respect your duty. So some players are taking things for granted, and then they will go somewhere, pick injuries that are not cared by the club, and the club become angry, and it affects the player last minute. So it's a lot of things that PFAG look into it. Not when you come and say you are injured, the club is not taking care of you, the PFAG will just run and start fighting for you. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, John, but I mean, you are very exposed. You've played outside the country. How exactly is it done outside there? Do these things even happen that players, have to cry for certain amounts owed them and all that?
Come again?
I'm saying that you've experienced football outside of this country at the highest level. Do these things even happen that players have to be asking and demanding money from authorities? And if so, how are these things treated outside of Ghana? Per your experience.
For me, I've never experienced those things before. Even when I was playing for Bekumas now, Yakubu Moro, we understand that there is no contract on a paper. But you wake up in the morning, you go and take your money, your lunch money, your breakfast, and then your evening money. And all was given to us in cash. Until I joined Liberty Professional, that's where I was on pay sheet. That Tete will pay every player the end of the month. And then he even locked some of the money for you as a player. So everything was working smooth. And then when I went to Europe, I faced the same professionalism from Liberty Professionals. That you sign a contract monthly, this is what you receive, and the money will be in. You don't need to go to the office and ask for your money. So I think most of the clubs are doing it here in Ghana. Like players receive money every month. And yeah, sometimes money can delay because of one or two things, which is normal. But it depends how far that can travel to. And some players have no good relationship with the clubs, and clubs have no good relationship with the players. So that will bring the fight that will be exposed for people to see what is happening between the player and the club in terms of player salaries.
Oreku Ampofo is my colleague who is here with me in the studio and wants to ask you a question. Oreku, please shoot.
So, John, just a quick question to you because you've played in the Ghana Premier League and you've also had the exposure outside. Now you're into football administration. What would you say are some of the lessons that you've learned, especially with regards to player welfare, that we have a number of our players here taking low salaries, delayed salaries and all that. Considering you're also looking to enter administration and start something on your own, what are some of the lessons that you've learned and what would you do differently once your academy blows up and your club becomes big time?
I think it's an understanding. If you are going for a player, you know the player's caliber and you go agreement with the player. You let him understand you can pay 2 cedis a month. The player agree and sign. So once the player agree and sign, you the club owner or the team has agreed that this is what I have to go to the player every month. So you make sure that the money will be ready for the player so that the player can also play without complaining, without even thinking of what am I going to eat before the game. And the player also signing his contract knowing that, okay, the 2 cedis can last me for that period of 4 weeks, and then the next month, new one will come. So it's an understanding and all. And if both of you are not getting to where it's supposed to be. I don't think the two of them should enter the agreement. And what I can do differently is, just sit down with the player. If you don't have it, or the player needs accommodation, you have to also put it inside that, okay, I'm giving accommodation, I'm giving a place to sleep, but I can offer you this every month on top of that. Because we have some local players who don't even have a place to stay. They are on salary like 1,000 cedis, 500 cedis, but where they sleep, the club don't know. So some of the things that players can put it inside their contract, but the club looking for a place for you to stay. And of course, some clubs also have accommodation for players who are playing for the club. So it's a whole lot that needs to be done, especially when it comes to contract with players and then the club, because there's something that FIFA is very, very serious about the players' welfare, and that is why PFAG is there to also control and then teach the young players who don't know how to be more professional and how to take good care of yourself. Because you thinking that you are doing the club, you'll be doing yourself. Like I make example before, like how you behave in the football club is how they will treat you. If you are professional, if you are doing well, you are respecting the code of conduct in the club. Even when you go wrong, the club will bring you back in and treat you well. So I think this program you are doing is very, very educative and it's very good for the young lads who are listening and who want to be more professional, who want to understand how they can be good friends, good family to the club. Because when you are playing the football team, it's your everything. You need to respect the club. The club will be there. Everybody will come and go. Kotoko has been there. House of Oak has been there. Many chairman, president has come and go. Players, great players has come and go. So when you are in the team, you will need to respect the team, because that will save you at the end of the day.
John, you are also the owner of John Pinto Academy. Kudos on that one, and I hope it's going well. But how exactly do you monitor player welfare, and how do you treat, or how would you be treating, issues like this?
Yeah, it's a good question. When you register a player, there's a system that you need to register the player into. The player needs to have his medical and then get the results. So the results, that is what you're going to use to register the player, especially when the player is professional. If he's amateur, it's a different game. But for me, I keep my boys, those who are not from Accra, I camp them. So those ones, when they are sick, we have a hospital that they go to. Then that course is the club. So when the player is sick, you know where to go. You don't come and say, Coach, I'm sick, I'm not well. You just pick a phone and then you call. When you go, you just mention the name of the team and they will look after you. Then we will go and bear the course later. So player health is very, very important, especially in the environment that you keep the players. And for me, I'm doing the development. So the environment needs to be very, very important. And then the players screening and all is important. Because I've been to England, I've been to Israel, and then I've been to many big clubs that even medical tests will take the whole 24 hours. Different doctors will check you, will turn your knee, and then check your ankle, how you run, and all. So I've learned all that. So many players come. I have a training that I can identify a player who has a knee problem that I will not sign or I will not take him. Player might be good, but you can see that he has a problem when he's running. He's not running straight, and all. So we have learned. So for me, when you say we want to go on, we will talk plenty, and we will consume all the time.
Okay, John. Thank you very much. I'm sure would plan an extensive conversation with you, on your academy and of course other footballing matters. But thank you very much for joining us right here on Sports Ultras.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's John Pencil, of course, former Ghana defender, and he's spoken a lot about player welfare and all that. We won't go back into that. We'll move on into other territories, and that would include Dreams FC and their victory over Sierra Leone side FC Kalon in the first leg of the preliminary round of the CAF competition, the Confederations Cup, that game happened here in Accra on Friday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Dreams winning by 2-1, and of course cementing the belief that people having them to move further forward in the CAF competition. It's been a while we saw Ghanaian clubs progress nicely or do decent work in Africa. I don't know if Oreku will be impressed this time.
It's very hard to please Oreku. Very, very hard.
Dreams have impressed me. It's Mediama that I've had issues with. But today they did well. Mediama did well. But I think once again, Dreams FC, a very unusual terrain for them. But they just keep moving from strength to strength. And for me, I think it's important for them to just keep going. Because at the end of the day, there's really nothing to lose for them. I don't think anyone had any expectations as opposed to Mediama, who have been here a number of times. Dreams, there's really no sort of expectations. They've even surpassed expectations, I may proceed to say, going past the first round and now, heading into the final round of the CAF Confederations Cup. And I think not having that type of pressure has become, quote-unquote, a positive for them. My major concern is the lack of fans at the stadium. Visuals from the stadium on Friday were very bad. You can probably count on one hand the number of fans who are there. And that's the Accra Sports Stadium. That's 40,000 capacity. And I feel as a result, our clubs are not maximizing the home advantage. Remember, in African interclub football, there's still the away goals rule. And so essentially, you are making it easier for your opponent to score away goals. And it comes as no surprise that Kalon and Horoya both got respective away goals in their playoffs against Dreams FC and then Mediama respectively. I just don't think we're doing enough for these clubs. That could perhaps go back down to the fact that their original home venues are not fit enough to play at this level. And so we're not making it difficult. We're not making it hostile for teams that travel here. It's a very comfortable game for them. And that's the only sad situation. That I don't think when they head to Sierra Leone, it would be the same type of environment or atmosphere that they will face. It will probably be a lot more difficult for them. And if you look at the last time out when Dreams FC went away, they didn't pick victory. And they managed to just do enough and come and finish their job at home. Now they are going in with a very slender lead, 2-1. And it's always difficult when you're in the second leg away and the result is right in your face. Now, when you concede one, you have to score, otherwise you're out and you're playing away and the crowd are in your face and all that. Makes it very difficult. But then again, I think where they've come so far is good enough.
It's good enough, yeah.
Yeah, so I was really impressed when I saw the Mediama scoreline, 3-1 against Horoya. Horoya have been on the African scene for quite some time. I mean, they are they've managed to get into the top places when it comes to a conversation about African clubs that are doing well. I mean, if you take the upper echelons like Ali and Mazembe and Sundowns, and you come into the second tier, you find Horoya. Exactly, you find Horoya in there, and I think that for Mediama to beat them by 3-1, I mean, it's good enough. I mean, on home soil, and hopefully they go there and they are able to get a result. But even if they are not able to get a result, which I hope it doesn't happen, I'm still going to commend them for how good they've been, because meeting Horoya in just the second stage of the competition is always tough. Obviously, you'd expect that you meet them in the group stages actually, but. I mean, whatever it is, I just hope that Mediama are able to go there and make a good account of themselves. For Dreams, also a good performance. I didn't like that they conceded one goal. The 2-1 is 2-1 is not a great scoreline, especially when you're playing with the away goal rule, and so you have to go there and score. If you don't score, then you play into the hands.
Even for Mediama, they must avoid a 2-0 defeat away from home.
Yeah, no, you see, the thing is, at 3-1, you can work your way around it, but 2-1 is like a very
too close
dangerous
for comfort.
score. Exactly. So.
And you see, that's why I'm not even that happy with Mediama. Because you see,
no.
I thought we were doing dreams.
For Eagles, I don't know in what capacity is he talking.
Oreku, no. If a team wins by 3-1 at home in a continental competition,
It's good.
by all means, it's impressive.
Look, you have to consider the context.
Especially when your big giants like Otoko and Hearts cannot even get to
You
this
have
stage
to-
in
you
the last 10 years.
You have to consider the context.
What
The
context?
game was 0-0. A Horoya player went to shout at the referee after when the second half was about to
Yeah.
start. He got a second yellow card sent off. Essentially, you played 45 minutes at home against 10 men. You go
This got 3 goals.
You go 3-0 up, and you still concede one. Look, a 2-goal margin is not good enough. Look, at 3-0, I think this is a good result.
Okay, Oreku.
3-1 and 2. Look,
Can I-
3-1
can
and
I-
3-0.
Can somebody arrest this man?
There's such. Look, I'll come back to this in a week's time, and you will understand.
it's not about
In
coming back to
Africa,
it. You see.
in Africa, if Al Ahly gets you 10 men, second half at home,
It might still be
you
3-1.
won't come back alive.
It might still be 3-1.
You won't come out alive.
It might still be
No,
3-1.
and that's the thing. That's the thing about
It
Mediama.
is
You see,
Ali.
they didn't create the environment. You had the opportunity.
Alright,
You went 3 goals up,
See, Thierry,
and you still managed to concede
even
one.
if Mediama has scored 8-2, he'll still not be happy.
No, 8-2 is good. 6. Look, Hearts of Oak. I remember Hearts very well. 2-0 against Wydad.
Terry,
And I said it wasn't
let
enough.
let me tell Oreku one thing. You remember last season, Mamelodi Sundowns against Al Ahly.
Yeah.
They traveled all the way to Egypt, and it was a very good game for
Yeah.
them. They came back to South Africa, and then they had to. They were exited from the competition by Al Ahly.
Yeah.
All because of away margin. So if they have managed to get 3-1, Oreku should be very appreciative of this performance from Mediama.
No, Oreku. Let me.
They can just travel
explain
to
something.
Horoya and then get a good result in qualifying.
I've forgotten the name of that Turkish team that came to win the Turkish league out of nothing. I don't remember their name, but it's one of those small cities in Turkey. Imagine that club coming out from that side of Turkey, not part of the big three in Turkey. They come into the competition and then they are taking on Horoya is like let me see, maybe like
It's like
I
some
just-
fourth
I-
In
world.
Turkey? In Turkey?
no,
No,
I'm
in
talking
Guinea.
about in Champions League.
Yeah,
setting.
in Champions League.
In
Yeah.
Champions League setting.
I'll give
They'll
them.
be like Benfica.
I almost said Benfica,
Benfica,
but
yeah.
but okay. Well,
That
Benfica
is
haven't
in
won.
recent times.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
recent
No,
times.
They'll be like Benfica or Sevilla.
Yeah.
And then they get a 3-1 home win
Yeah.
against a team like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be okay with it. Trust
I'm
me.
happy.
I mean,
I'm
this is
happy to be
Mediama. It's not.
honest.
It's not Kotoko.
And
Daddy
I mean,
Jackson is not fine with it.
Truth is even if it was against 10 men, some teams will still struggle because it's Horoya.
Yeah,
Because they will
exactly.
defend.
Yes.
They will defend.
And I think getting 3 goals against Horoya, I mean, yeah, they consider we are all not happy with it, but I don't think it's a platform to condemn the Mediama boys. I think they've done really well. And I want to see Oreku coach a team professionally.
I'll
Every day
edge.
blastings, they'll hold meetings every morning. After the second half, you see him running. The game is over running.
Because I hear Oreku sometimes speak against Pep for being too demanding. Do you know who you are? Anyway, so Mediama have sealed the first win over their rivals in this particular round, as have Dreams FC. Now, Mediama would play against Horoya on next Saturday, right? It's next Saturday in Conakry in Guinea, and then the Sierra Leoneans will also play against Dreams FC in the return leg that same weekend, and that is when we'll know if Ghana has a place in the group stages of both competitions. Wow. Group stage. I remember when Brekum Chelsea was there in 2012, we called it the money zone. It still is a money zone though. Get to Greku. I'm in the shadow. You're happy, aren't you? Anyway, we are with you in this. We are behind time, but we'll spend 5 minutes on boxing before we move on. 5 minutes, guys. We don't go beyond 5 minutes because today the show is so packed. And we'll do justice to that. I won't give the microphone to anybody else. So if he finishes before 5 minutes, then we are good. Now, the story is that 12 boxers were taken outside the country to go and help Ghana be represented when it comes to boxing. When boxing is mentioned in the next Olympics, at least Ghana must have a representative.
Yeah.
All 12 boxers. You know, it happened so fast that I couldn't keep count. I just didn't know what was happening. The last update I got was about 7 p.m. I think on Wednesday, that the 12 boxer had also lost, including Mark Bones.
Yeah.
He couldn't come to see his family.
No.
Ain't easy to be freezing.
But yeah, break it down for us. What happened?
So
12 boxers.
Yeah, so 12 boxers you mentioned. I mean, the thing is that I am very shocked, and I'm very shocked in the sense that there are boxers amongst those 12. We have the most experienced amateur boxer in the country in that team, Abdul Wahid Omar.
Okay.
He fought in 2016, and he fought in 2012. He was part of the team.
Okay.
He fought in 2016 in Rio. And then he went to the Commonwealth Games in Queensland. And then
how did he fare in all of that? I'm not asking for specifics, but was he good?
So Wahid Omar has been one of our very good boxers. He has a bronze medal from the Commonwealth Games. But for the Olympic Games, he was just one step away from getting into the medal zone, and he couldn't get there. And so this was an opportunity for him to get back into the Olympic fold, and maybe after this time around he can call it quits. But it couldn't happen for him, and I'm surprised, because what is Abdul Wahid doing with himself? What is Abdul Wahid teaching these young boys? There's Joseph Kome, who is a really good boxer. Joseph Kome was also at the Commonwealth Games, just the recent Commonwealth Games, and he also could not, particularly get a medal, but he fought really well, got into the top stages, but he just couldn't get in. And so Ghana went there with all of these guys, and also with Freezy McBones. And the idea of going there was to qualify as many boxers as we can. And all of these guys could not find a place in there, which is so strange.
Where was Samotechi?
So the Samotechi issue is a simple issue. Samotechi's whole career within this short time has just been to win gold for Ghana. And so because he couldn't do it in Tokyo, he wants to do it in Paris this time around.
Okay.
And Samotechi won bronze, which was Ghana's first ever bronze medal. First ever Ghanaian medal since 1992, first ever boxing medal since 1976. It's been a long time. The president promised him $20,000 US.
So that's the issue. I was coming to that.
Yes, the president promised him $20,000 US. He hasn't received $20,000 US. And so just before the campaign was going to begin, he demanded his money.
Yeah.
Because it's been a while. Tokyo ended in 2021.
Of course.
And it's been 2 years. I mean, so obviously the boy is going to ask about his money, because the thing is that he knows the magnitude of what he's done.
Of course.
It's not an easy feat.
Yeah.
There's been so many boxers. Even Ikote could not win a boxing medal for Ghana. Azuma Nelson could not go to the Olympics, and it was a reason why he did not get there. But Ike could not win. Alfred Kote could not win. All the world champions we've had when they were amateurs couldn't win at that stage. And then Samotechi comes.
I saw a few people maligning him on social media, and I thought, do you guys appreciate what he's done?
Exactly.
I mean,
you see, I feel like sometimes people just do not appreciate the magnitude of certain achievements. Because if you're a country,
I like what he's doing. It's good precedence.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't come out and make promises and not be ready to fulfill them.
Exactly.
Why must you suffer in modesty and humility when it is something
you see, I don't blame the
president.
president. I don't blame the president in this regard. He has a lot on his head, a lot on his hands.
So there are people around him. Exactly.
Someone's job was to keep tabs on the promise and update the president.
Exactly.
We need to make this payment to this boy.
Yep.
And someone has just not done his work.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe it is done and someone is sitting on it. You never know.
It's Ghana we did.
But you see, I feel like the Samotechi issue is a really tough one. And you see, the thing about the issue is that he actually didn't say that he wasn't going to box.
Okay.
He was shunned because
of his demands.
Exactly. And that is the part of it that kills me, because if you know how good the guy is and you decide to sit him out because he demanded his money, and then you see, that's the funny thing. How is this even how is this even acceptable that the guy who fought for you and won you the bronze medal,
it shouldn't even get to the point where he comes making a demand.
You shun him, And then
So that who go and take the medals for you?
Yeah.
exactly.
The other 12.
No,
The
no,
other 12.
No, you
The
listen.
other 12.
No, we have people.
No, you listen to this logic. The guy who won the bronze medal has been shunned, and everybody went to the airport to meet some guy who has just won 2 fights in his life.
Yeah.
2
Without formula.
2 fights in his life.
Who some argue is not a boxer.
and I side with those people because it's not great boxing.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it many times on my social media. People called me a hater for it and whatever, but I'm not going to say I told you so, because I mean I'm Ghanaian and I expect that we get into
We all want to.
exactly. But I just feel like he needs to get better at what he's doing. I like that right now, he has taken it in his stride and he's just trying to get better, which will be good for us. Ghana, though, has an opportunity to fight again, which will be a much tougher test in November. There's the Europe qualification that's at stake. There's the Asia
that's in November,
qualification.
right?
Yeah, that's in November. And now you're going to face these boxers from Eastern Europe who are extremely tough. I mean, you can't beat guys in Senegal. How are you beating somebody from Slovakia or somebody from Cuba? These yeah, exactly. These things are very dicey. So
Right.
I don't know, but hopefully one of these guys qualifies and then they get there. But it's so strange that no boxer from Ghana has been able to
12.
qualify from the African
7 male boxers.
Look, and it's strange to me. The thing is, when you listen to any boxing enthusiast in the world,
Yeah.
they tell you that when it comes to African boxing, Bukum is Mecca. How then does nobody from Mecca comes out as a pure Muslim? It's strange.
or as an imam.
Yeah, it's strange.
Anyway, so we'll be delving into this matter, of course, as we approach the second opportunity that Ghana would have in November. But for now, let's take a quick break.
Play together. Brightbets.com.gh. Play for fun. Enjoy the game.
.7 with me, Thierry Nyan, and we getting into, well, producer, please, let's get into the predictor, okay? Let's get into the predictor before we look at what the weekend has looked like. And so for the predictor, I'm sure we all did some predictions. We'll be looking at exactly how that has gone on so far. But there's a message from Betway. You know, Betway have been giving you goodies for a while. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, and free spins, and more with deposits with or on Top Up Tuesday. Now log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. Every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types in the weekend's big fixture. Only at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, not for those under 18. Betway, get way more. And so that is a message from Betway. Now, predictor, please. So these are the predictions that Bill did. We've not heard Bill's voice here in a while, but we can. Please come again.
He's busy securing 3 points and a clean sheet.
Well, let's see if he was able to secure 3 points in the predictor, because he said AC Milan will beat Newcastle by. Okay, so these are the predictions going forward. Let's go back to Bill, please. I didn't run through Bill's Bales. There's
Bills
no S.
it's fine.
Yeah. So AC Milan, he said AC Milan will beat Newcastle by 2-1. PSG will beat Dortmund by 2-0. Bayern will beat Man United by 2-0.
Correct score.
Ajax will lose to Marseille by 3-1, and then Arsenal will beat Spurs by 3-1. Of course, from an Arsenal fan, we don't expect any less there. Let's go to Aniela. I saw Aniela earlier, so let's go back to Aniela. Aniela on the screen, please. So AC Milan will beat Newcastle, and PSG will beat Dortmund by 1-0. Bayern will beat Man United by 1-0. You say a correct score, but
Onana they drink 3. Onana is consistent. He's drinking 3.
Onana said, we'll find out what position he plays.
So Ajax will beat Marseille by 2-1, and then Arsenal will also beat Spurs by 3-1. Let's move on from Aniela. Now, I say that AC Milan will win against Newcastle by 3-1. PSG will beat Dortmund 2-0. Bayern will beat Man United 3-1. I think Bayern, their defense no good, so they'll concede. And then Ajax would draw with Marseille by 1-1, and then Arsenal would
Wrong score.
Arsenal would draw with
should be expunged from the record.
Arsenal would draw with Spurs 2-2. Now, Reku says that AC Milan will beat Newcastle by 3-1. PSG will beat Dortmund by 3-1. Bayern will beat Man United by 3-0. Marseille would beat Ajax by 2-1, and then Arsenal would beat Spurs by 3-1. Move on to the next. And Kelvin says that AC Milan, Newcastle 2-2, PSG, Dortmund 4-2, Bayern, Man United 3-1, Ajax, Marseille 2-1, and then Arsenal, Spurs 2-1. Let's see Yao. Yao says that AC Milan will beat Newcastle by 3-1. PSG would beat Dortmund by 3-1. And then Bayern would beat Man United by 2-1. Ajax will draw 2-2 with Marseille. And then Arsenal would also lose to Spurs by 2-3. One thing we can all agree, or per the predictions, will happen is Man United will lose to Bayern. Everybody predicted that. Dortmund will lose to PSG. Everybody predicted that. Almost everyone, bar one person, says that AC Milan would beat Newcastle United. And the only person who says Arsenal will lose in the coming week is Yao. So these are the predictions. Guys, defend it in 1 minute.
Defend yours.
I want to show all my haters love. But Spurs is going down. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Kelvin.
Well, Terry, my 3-1 scoreline for Manchester United against Bayern.
You think it's a correct score?
Yeah, Onana has been consistent 3-1, and he's going to take the 3-1 again. For Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, we need to baptize them and tell them that they should slow down, because they are not yet at that level to be beating teams like that. Yesterday, they really won very good tangent. AC Milan too, all because they've been very poor. And yesterday, the Italian derby once again, Milan derby once again showed us that they're very poor side. So I think Newcastle and Eddie Howe can get a draw there. And then Marseille, Ajax have all it takes to defeat them by 2-1.
Oreku disagrees.
Oreku.
Ajax have been crap. They can't even beat 20. Did you watch them today?
It was awful.
Can't even string 3 passes.
Yeah, they're like Chelsea now.
Charlie.
We'll beat them 1-0.
We'll
beat them 1-0.
Let Oreku keep the same
Jackson
energy. When it comes to Midiama, when it comes to Chelsea, you must act like...
No, but truth is, Chelsea are playing really well.
Yeah.
Besides scoring.
Unlike Midiama.
Yeah, dominating game, 70% possession, 75.
Keep dominating with your goalless draws. Dominate.
We are unbeaten. This weekend we're unbeaten.
What position are you in exactly?
Still unbeaten.
13th and 14th must be nice.
Well, you know when Oreku said we're unbeaten, we almost I was like, unbeaten where? because
for the weekend.
Okay. What did 2 losses this season? Anyway, yeah. Your predictions?
Yeah, Bayern beating Man United is a given because.
Why is it a given?
Because Ten Hag knows nothing. So,
but Ten Hag is blaming it on misfortune. Did you listen to his press conference? I couldn't believe that he was actually looking into the camera and spewing those words and not being shy for the things he was saying. That it was unfortunate at Arsenal, and it was very unfortunate against Brighton. How was it unfortunate? You were schooled. You were schooled by De Zerbi.
United everyday explanations.
I don't think yesterday United was schooled. To be honest, I felt like United had. They had Brighton where
really.
I mean, in the first 20 minutes.
Many occasions.
Yeah, it was just for
many occasions. I feel like they could have beaten them. The thing is that this guy just knows nothing, bro. I mean, I'm telling you people.
But he was the reason if they played that well, he was the reason they played well.
They didn't play well. They didn't play well. The only thing is, I'm just saying that Brighton were actually not so good, top level good, and we still couldn't beat them. You understand? I have been saying this thing. The only reason why United fans think Ten Hag is the Messiah is because he won the Carling Cup. You understand? If Ole won those semi-finals and went into any final and had won those trophies, he would still have been here.
So Ten Hag is better than Ole then?
The thing is, Ten Hag is better than Ole, and that is why I want to see how better he is than Ole. And Ole's football, every United fan can see that it was better than Ten Hag's. Everybody can see. So if you, the better manager, cannot give me better football than the guy who is supposedly not better, then why are you there?
You come good.
And that's the thing. I don't buy that. I don't buy that you come good
into the Premier League.
I don't buy that you
weekend.
come good. You come good. No, mean I don't want to hear it.
Why?
I don't want to hear it because Brighton lost 5 starters coming to Old Trafford and they beat you 3-1. De Zerbi didn't need time to come good. If your system is good,
De Zerbi. So I was coming to that because De Zerbi has been around, has had some players that even Man United shunned, like Welbeck, and a few other players from different.
Who were
clubs.
on the score sheet?
And my thinking here is Man United have a better team in terms of player quality on paper.
Thank you very
than
much.
Brighton.
Thank you very much.
So what could be wrong?
Yeah, that's what's wrong. No be the coach. Now, if you get better players than Brighton and the Brighton man is playing better football than you on your home turf
and outscoring,
what does that mean?
It's not these big clubs. We forgo some school again. I don't understand. I really don't understand what's happening.
Because that's the thing. It's just flat that everybody needs to blame the manager. Right now, who do you blame for United's misfortune? And he's saying misfortune. What is misfortune?
He says offside. He says
offside.
He says a goal that was ruled out. He said lots of things.
Unforeseen circumstances.
What? Because I honestly don't get it. To be honest, I don't think that United are so poor they shouldn't be winning games.
Yeah.
Look, United have gone through 5 games this season. They've lost 3.
Yeah.
And the only 2 wins was a win against Wolves, which they struggled,
and against
Forest, which they struggled to get. What are you telling me?
But is it fair to also say that Man United have lost against sides that are relatively better? Arsenal. Well, Spurs shouldn't have been better this season, to be honest. Spurs shouldn't have been better than Man United.
I was going to come to Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs shouldn't have been better than Man United.
Don't worry, we'll stop them right in their tracks.
Before the season started, we never expected Spurs to be this good.
And also after losing Kane, you expect that they would drop.
Exactly.
And that is the real misfortune. If you lose your best player, your top goal scorer, and then you are still bagging goals. What is this guy saying misfortune? And then there are people on social media and they Ten Hag defend him. Continue defending him. You will lose Bayern. Next week you will lose.
He was actually booed when he brought on
I am telling
Martial.
you, because what that change, like think about it. No, think about it. Like, what sense is it?
I think someone should get Yao some water.
I was telling people
out of hand.
Haaland made so many clear-cut chances.
Yeah.
They put him on, he still scored.
Yeah.
Your striker is trying to get you the goal because he didn't get it. Oh, come off, Martial. Martial no ball papa ben pan and Martial nimba. We have to put him on at all costs. And you are telling me that because I don't support this whole Sancho thing and whatever and everything. But if you are telling me that Martial is good
Why
at
do you
training,
not support the Sancho thing?
No, I think what Sancho is doing is nonsense. It's just very childish.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if Martial or if Ten Hag is telling me that Martial is giving 100% in training and this is the 100%, bro, we are dead.
It's questionable.
We are doomed.
But Thierry, before
you won't talk about Man United.
No, I'm not going to talk about United.
Okay.
I just want to say that I'm not.
Why are you laughing?
No, it's because of my fellow Arsenal, Declan Rice, sitting here beside me. I'm just saying that.
And he's Rice, and you are.
I'm Trossard. I'm Trossard because he's Anyway, all I want to say
was it a master stroke that Havertz didn't start today?
It was.
Let's leave him out of the conversation. Thierry, I just want to say that both Arsenal and Tottenham have won their games this weekend, both on 13 points, unbeaten. Next week we'll see where true power lies. Shout out to all Arsenal fans out there. Thank you.
Next week Arteta will start Havertz and will feast.
Yeah.
Bissouma will feast.
Yeah. We will be there. Anyway, Arsenal has been mentioned, so let's talk about Arsenal. Kelvin.
Well, I think it was a very tough
You
game.
went to an Everton
Yeah, since
side
2017.
that, you haven't won there
Since
in a while.
2017, I think it was really a tough game. Martinelli got the goal, but once again, the same fine margins that denied Manchester United that win at the Emirates was the same fine margin that denied Gabriel Martinelli that opener. But I think it was a very strong performance from Arsenal. The changes to the team, at a point, the game plan decided to change, and then it was difficult for Arsenal to even plunge through the channels, Arsenal has this one style of play that if Bukayo Saka is locked, Gabriel Martinelli has only been the only option for Arsenal to get the ball in order to get the goal. So Trossard isn't that direct as you'd want Martinelli, so it was a bit tough. And I think Sean Dyche, I don't know what exactly it's wrong with this Everton team that they cannot even open up to play games when they are playing at home. But great from Arsenal. This is the sort of game that you need. But at the end of the day, I say, if you win these games, Manchester City will fall to some of these sides in very tough games. But all you need to do is to defeat Manchester City, or at least get a draw against them to stand a pole position of winning the league. When Liverpool won the league, they had to defeat Manchester City. When City won the league over Liverpool by just a point, Liverpool only dropped points to them. And that is what I'm saying about Arsenal. Arteta has built a very good team, but if he consistently wins some of these games and fails to meet City full, better and square than the seasons he's met them, then it's going to be an exercise in futility. They should always expect to be second, third and fourth to Manchester City from that. But I think as Arsenal fans, they are really happy, and especially coming from the international break when most of your players were tired from international friendlies and then international tournament qualifiers. I think it's good for Arsenal. Hopefully it continues in subsequent games from Wednesday and then Sunday.
Talk about coming back. Jurgen Klopp had an interesting quote. He says that playing early kickoff, especially when he has South American players, is unfair. I wonder if he's only manager to have South Americans coming.
Oh, he talks too much. But when he went, he has a different side or different opinion
they like
to express. Yes.
Anyway, so Oreku, your Chelsea team traveled to Bournemouth, Vitality Stadium. We're expecting goals. We didn't get one. 0-0. So this Chelsea and Casa, what's the problem? Besides the injuries, hey, have you seen the injury list?
Yeah, I mean that should be at least half of the first team out due to injury.
Wow.
And
what could be the problem here? Is it a medical team? Is it the technical team that are stretching these players too much? I mean, how can you be so unlucky as a coach or as a team that you find all these players injured? Let me try and go through. But you make your submission.
I think I have the list here. So it's Badiashile, Bettinelli, Amando Boya,
Caicedo, yeah.
Chaloba, Chukwuemeka, Fofana, Reece James, Lavia, Nkunku.
Can you imagine?
And the truth is, if all of these players come back or were to be here, they would make a difference.
They would?
Yeah, they would. I mean,
are you sure?
The team would definitely be better with the likes of Nkunku.
James is better than Gusto.
Yeah, Reece James. These are players that
James better than Gusto?
Oh yeah, Reece James has been.
Is Badiashile better than who is starting now? Disasi.
I don't even want to look at the defensive part because I don't think that's what
so in attack.
affected. I think it's an attack because Reece contributes
Nkunku.
to. Yeah, I think if Nkunku is there, he makes a difference. If Reece is at the right back slot, got the amount of room Gusto got today. He's a better crosser, end product way better, understands the Chelsea system more. He's captain. Having him here makes a difference. And so I think maybe Nkunku, Reece James, maybe Lavia coming in there. Chukwuemeka was also making some good strides before he went out. But the thing is, it's more about the bench than even the starting 11. Because today when it was not working out, we were bringing on two left backs in Chilwell and Martin when Chelsea needed a goal with about 12 minutes to go. And so it just speaks volumes of the state of the club at the moment. However, even without these...
a serious question though. Yeah. How do you spend £1 billion and don't have a good bench?
I mean, as we just rightly mentioned, a lot of them have been injured. And if you're counting, that's about...
So 10, it's about the injuries?
About 10 players who have been... If all these guys are back, your bench looks very juicy. Because Gusto would be on the bench. You would have someone like perhaps maybe either Ugochukwu or Gallagher on the bench, and if Madueke will probably be on the bench when he's fit. Palmer would be on the bench as well. Depending on whether Mudryk, if Nkunku replaces Mudryk, he would also be on the bench. Boya would be on the bench. And so it would be a decent team overall. But then again, I still think even without all of these aforementioned players, Chelsea should perhaps be doing better than they have so far. And I say this because of the nature in which they played against Liverpool. And you look at the trajectory of the two clubs, is very synonymous to what happened last season, where, if you remember, about 2/3 throughout the season, Liverpool and Chelsea were neck to neck. When Bruno Sauter took charge of the team temporarily, when the two sides met and played out a 0-0 draw, I think we were separated by just a couple of points. If we had beaten Liverpool, we go above them. From there, Liverpool went ahead and almost got a top 4 finish, bar just a blip in their last couple of games. Chelsea ended up finishing outside the top 10, and so they left us behind. When we played Liverpool this season opener, I think both sides were inseparable in the first half, and Chelsea probably did way better. Should have probably won that game in that second half. So in that instance, if you're looking at the conditioning, the quality that the teams had and the way they played, Chelsea probably should have used that momentum a lot better, especially when you look at the fixture list, because they played West Ham, Luton in the Cup, Luton in the league, and then Wimbledon in the Cup, and Nottingham and Bournemouth. These were teams that Chelsea were supposed to build on that Liverpool game and probably get some points at the table and get some confidence and good start to the season. Yes, there's been a couple of injuries, but I still believe Chelsea should be doing way better than just picking up one league win out of West Ham, Luton, Nottingham, and Bournemouth. It's just not good enough at the end of the day. And what makes it painful and difficult to analyze is the fact that in all of these games, Chelsea have probably done enough not to lose or even to win.
Okay.
Especially you look at that West Ham game where the scoreline just doesn't reflect how the game panned out. If Enzo Fernandez scores that penalty in the first half, it's a walk in the park for Chelsea in that second half. And then you're looking at the game against Nottingham Forest, where once again Jackson missing from 2 inches out, a number of half chances being missed. And even today, you had Jackson hitting the post, Raheem Sterling hitting the crossbar, an offside goal, and poor decisions up front. And it makes it difficult to analyze, because now you are stuck in between: is Pochettino doing enough and the players not doing their part, or is the system not bringing the best out of these players? And I feel it's just similar conversations to what we had under Graham Potter. And it makes it difficult, because now you are in a situation where you don't really understand what's going on, whether it's on the players' end or it's the coaches' end. But one thing, from my opinion and where I sit, is that Chelsea can do a lot better with how they control games and how they sustain pressure. If you take a look at the game today against Bournemouth, I thought the intensity was a bit too inconsistent, with regards to how we put pressure on this Bournemouth side. Look at how Arsenal played against Everton. They rendered them almost useless, because they had so much control and pinned their opponents back that whenever Everton had the ball, all their bodies were in and around their 12-yard penalty box. And so they couldn't get out. They had no outlet. That's what Chelsea have to aim to do. They give their opposition too many chances to come out and attack them, and end up pushing them backwards. And it's all due to the intensity of the play. I feel they move the ball up a bit too slow. There are times where they lack ideas. It's not incisive enough. And maybe that's the difference between, Arteta has been at Arsenal for years. Pochettino has just had one preseason with the team. So maybe we may have to be patient with how they play. But I still have hope. And I'll always be in a more comfortable with the team playing well and not picking up points than picking up points when you're not playing too well. Because I know in the long run, the curve will definitely flatten, and when it does, Chelsea will start picking up points. What people have to understand is that it's slight improvements. The aim, I think Chelsea probably should be looking at a top 7, top 8 this season, which will be an improvement on last season. Although it may not be reasonable considering the amount of money that has been spent. You have to understand that when you put all of these players together from nowhere, a new coach, it will take time, and that's the That's the reality you have to face. And another factor is the competition. Teams around are doing so well. You're already fighting 8 teams who want to be in the top 6. So it's going to be a difficult season, but I'm still optimistic.
Okay. Wow. The guy talks for 5 minutes. He talks for 5 minutes and you are laughing afterwards. Okay.
After all that he said, he's optimistic.
Oh, you have to be real.
Okay, guys. We need to move on. I think I made Oreoku over speak. But so
Emotional damage.
Liverpool beat Wolves by 3-1. Manchester City also beat West Ham United by 3-1. Spurs beat Sheffield United by 2-1, and of course it was a very, very good comeback victory there. Brighton beating Man United by 3-1. Fulham beating Luton by 1-0. Aston Villa beating Crystal Palace by 3-1. Newcastle United also beating Brentford by 1-0. Arsenal beating Everton by 1-0. And you realize that when I mentioned the scoreline, I say beat. The only game that didn't have a beating there was Chelsea against Bournemouth because nobody won. So it was the only draw in the Premier League as is. I'm not going to be running you by the table. Let's move on straight to Spain, because currently happening is Real Madrid against Real Sociedad, and Real losing to Sociedad by 1-0. That's actually was 2-0. The second was ruled out, and well, they're waiting on Jude Bellingham, aren't they? But early on, Barcelona, they lashed Betis. A very hapless, wasteful, not purposeful Real Betis. But it was a game that also saw João Felix shine, João Cancelo shine, Lewandowski shine, and I think that it was just the kind of victory that gives Barcelona the kind of confidence to keep moving forward.
Well, I think Barca are cooking something very sweet and good for the season, but to how long? But these are the players that you need to make your team better. Someone like João Felix, Lewandowski knows that, yes, the burden of scoring isn't just on me. And I have someone like João Felix who's going to add up to it. And now they have a very good provider too in João Cancelo from the deep lines. And it makes this Barcelona team a bit unassuming, but they are grinding the results gradually and in smooth fashion. Let's not forget they won the league last season. You may look at Real Madrid's stars and then the names in there, but you ask yourself, this Barca team seem to be players who wouldn't have the names. The pump and pageantry around the Madrid players are not exactly the same as Barca's, but they have the players who would work the magic for them. Someone like João Felix, we know his capabilities. How Chelsea fans,
but I was about saying that Barca have very good players on paper.
They have very good players on paper, but look at the Real Madrid players and on
they
paper,
are superstars.
Exactly. And if you compare them to what Barca have at the moment, you wouldn't have an equal response from the fans. But I think Xavi is gradually building a very strong unit. But the point is, you may be champions in Spain, but how is he going to fare when it comes to European club
competition? Can you just finish the whole submission with compliments of Barcelona?
I've complimented them. Yeah, I've complimented them. Yes, they'll win. They'll win there, but when they come to Europe, that is where the problem is. Would they be able to survive? I think if this Barcelona team meets any team like Newcastle United from the Premier League or even Brighton, it will be very tough for them to win.
Hey, Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
Brighton.
Yes.
Barcelona. Oh, Charlie, but how are you watching the football?
João Felix, play for Chelsea against Brighton last season.
But if the system wasn't good, it doesn't mean the player is
so this Barca system too. That's why I'm saying De Zerbi will run riot over this team.
So Barcelona are temporarily at the top of the table, but of course that is contingent on if Real Madrid would win against Sociedad at the Bernabeu. But I want you to talk me through Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen. I think one of the best games I've seen in the league or in the weekend. Considering 4 goals, end-to-end stuff, it could have just been anyone's game.
To be very honest, I didn't see the game.
Okay.
So, but if there's any team I really dislike in this world, it's Bayern Munich. So
why?
And you're playing them later in the week.
Is it because they beat Man United a lot, or there's another reason?
No, I mean they are just too well run, and I just dislike that.
They are too smooth.
Yeah.
Anyway, but now they're not so smooth lately because they're having issues. And,
because of the coach.
Yeah, and Tuchel is having a lot of issues. He came up against Xabi Alonso, and everyone was complimenting Alonso for the kind of football they played at Allianz Arena. Yeah. It was breathtaking, to be honest, and it just could have been anyone's game. Tuchel, at the end of it all, said he didn't like it as a coach. Maybe to the neutrals they didn't enjoy it, but as a coach, he was at the edge of
We are
the seat.
complaining about Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United, but I think he's one of the coaches who has actually disappointed. Fine, he won with Chelsea, all right, but the following season it wasn't too rosy for him. And at Bayern Munich, he has all the stars to make things work. He has all the players to make things work, but he's failing consistently.
Is he failing?
Yes, he's failing.
He's still winning,
He's failing.
but he's winning
He drew.
against Leverkusen,
Yes.
who are top of the table.
Bayer Leverkusen was struggling last season.
Were they?
Yes.
Leverkusen were not.
Yes.
Yeah, but Alonso changed them.
Alonso
Exactly.
changed
He
that.
moved them from bottom.
Yeah.
I think
Bottom
bottom
to-
they were like
to
third
Europe.
from bottom.
To
yeah.
Europe.
European slot.
Yes, very good.
So for the
European slot-
majority of the season, Leverkusen were doing very well, and they've
But-
continued the season.
But what if you just oppose the performance of this Bayern Munich side and then what Bayer Leverkusen Alonso did with them and the materials at hand, I don't think Tuchel has really done. He should be able to dispatch this Bayer Leverkusen team with ease.
Especially with Harry Kane in there.
Yes.
No complaints.
With Harry Kane and all the other
Leroy
players, you
Sané,
still have
Gnabry, all
Musiala,
that.
you have Alphonso Davies, all these players, and
Yeah.
I don't think he's doing justice to the money Bayern Munich have
There's
given him. and the
this
players
chap,
that are
there's this chap
quality.
that plays for Leverkusen. I think very soon the big boys will be going for him. I've forgotten his name, but
Is it
guy-
Boniface?
Boniface.
yeah.
Guy is good.
Yeah, he was great against Upamecano. I think that was the first time I've seen someone physically impose himself on.
Yeah.
I don't even think Haaland, put himself on Upamecano physically
I mean,
as much as
Upamecano
Boniface.
has mistakes in him,
Yeah.
but no one dominates him as much as we saw Boniface.
Yeah,
do
Victor
on Friday.
Boniface is very good.
Yeah, he is.
Hopefully,
He's very strong, a very strong runner. I think he has more to his game than Osimhen.
Yeah.
His
In a
all,
way.
his all-round play is probably better. Osimhen is a great finisher, no doubt. Probably better than Boniface.
But
But
as
I
a
think
striker,
Boniface
what
can
do
Not
you
drop.
probably. He is better than
but
Boniface.
what do we look for? The finisher.
Oh,
Of course,
it-
for the
if-
If
position
it
you
was
play.
about strength,
Yeah.
Josie Altidore would have been the best in the
Oh,
world.
Nana Jai.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's not. No, but why are you making it to look like? No,
If it was about
I
strength.
don't even think Boniface's greatest asset is strength. It's one of his assets.
But is he a good finisher?
Oh, he's a good finisher.
He's good,
not
but he's
great.
not- he's
Maybe
not
he's
as
not
good
great.
as
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I was surprised when you compared him to Osimhen.
No,
because
but-
Osimhen is in the he's
And
he's,
Osimhen has strength of his own.
yeah, and he's in the bar
No,
of
but I
the
don't-
Kings.
He has. Yes.
Of this world now.
Did you guys hear what I said?
What did you say?
Come again.
I never said he's better than Osimhen, did I?
No, but you compared him. You mentioned in the same.
Yeah,
bracket.
but there's nothing wrong with comparing two Nigerian strikers who are in form.
No, but you are
Yeah,
comparing.
no, but I'm
it's
just
like- it's
highlighting the
it's
two
like-
profiles.
It's like
he has
like,
more to his game than Osimhen. That's it.
It's like comparing Jordan Ayew to Inaki Williams in Europe.
Yes.
No, but you see, my point is that if I say
There are two Ghanaians,
if I say Boniface has more to his game than Osimhen, it doesn't mean that Osimhen or Boniface is better than Osimhen. Osimhen can be better than Boniface, but it doesn't take away the fact that Boniface has more to his game.
Well,
Boniface
what
has
does
better
he have?
weapons. You mean?
Yeah, but he has
What
more.
does he have to
He
his
can
game?
drop deep, he can dribble, he can pick a pass.
Okay.
Osimhen cannot do that, and what he does well. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that Boniface can do more.
Okay, quick break.
Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesdays. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Get way more at betway.com.gh. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesdays. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Get way more at betway.com.gh. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
3 Sports.
So there's no Messi, there's no Neymar, and PSG are struggling as it is. PSG are struggling. Mbappe scored a worldie, but it wasn't enough because Nice beats them by 3-2.
The PSG story is just it's just so shocking, because how can you have so much money, buy some of the world's best players, and still struggle the way
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. And this season, they're looking really, really ordinary.
Very ordinary, actually. Very ordinary.
Luis Enrique, you don't particularly see what he's trying to build, and I think that it's a big problem, because then there will be a lot more pressure on him now, because now that PSG are coming into the Champions League, there's expectation that they are also one of the contenders.
And now they're not even doing well domestically.
Exactly. So then where then do you place them in the Champions League? But I think that the more you watch PSG play, the more you commend the fact that they decided to keep Mbappe. Because imagine this PSG team without Mbappe. Without Mbappe, it would have been terrible.
they would look like breast.
so yeah, I mean, for PSG, it's not going too long. But I don't know what they can do to get their results up. But I really hope that they can change the tide. I mean, I've always been a Marseille fan, so if PSG is not going well, yay. I mean,
they didn't win today, though, Marseille, but they didn't lose either. PSG, a very curious case.
I think they have. It's a tricky situation for Luis Enrique, because now he's in a situation where he's moved from absolutely almost no tools to too much tools. I feel he has too many things to work around with, and it's very similar to what Arteta has at Arsenal now, where because he didn't get all the tools before preseason, he didn't get the chance to really try out his team. And they signed Goncaldo Ramos and then Kolomwani very late in the transfer window, and then there's Asensio in there, Kangli is also there, Mbappe is there, and then there's Dembele too coming in. All of these late transfers, and now he's played the preseason in Asia and all that without all of these players, and now Enrique likes to play in a particular way. He is very adamant on how he wants his team to build up, the positions he wants them to pick, the distances and all that. And now he has all these players who are quite similar on the same level. Someone like Dembele, Kolomwani, Asensio. Who do you pick ahead of who, at what time, who gets what minutes? And so I think they have a good squad. For the first time, I think they have a very decent team, a well-balanced squad, that each position perhaps has good enough competition. But I think it just came a bit too late. And as a result, they may have to wait for some time to really see the fruits of this decent team.
All right, and so that's the story of Paris Saint-Germain, just how these guys are struggling when it comes to the domestic league. Now, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesday. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Now, only at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, not for those under 18. Betway gets way more. And I wished we'll talk about several others, including Ghanaian players abroad, because Salis's team, Lens, they keep losing. They've played about 4 games this season, and I think they've lost all or drawn 1. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, and this is the team that were runner-up last season.
Yeah,
where they
almost took Paris Saint-Germain to the wire.
Yeah, and they're helpless this season. We'll talk about them and a few others next week, right here on Sports Ultras. My name is Theo, and I've been here with Yaofosu Labi, Kelvin Owusu, and Aniela Alote, who is left us earlier, and then Oreku Ampofo. Guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yes, and you heard it right. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Go Sporting Lagos.
Yeah.